A very good morning, guys. As discussed earlier, today we start with the next chapter, that is rectification of errors. I mentioned in the group that it is a very interesting chapter, very much practical oriented and purely based on journal entries. Those who have not yet followed journal entries properly, please see the video of journals carefully, because if you don't know journal, you cannot do this chapter. This chapter is purely based on journal entries. Okay. Now, before we go to the meaning of rectification of errors, let's see what accounting process we have followed from the starting. What we used to do when we used to pass journal entries, we used to see the transactions, we used to decide which are the accounts affected, how many accounts are there, then we used to classify personal, real, nominal. Then we used to decide, applying the golden rules, which account is to be debited, which account is to be credited, and then we used to pass the journal entry. Okay. Now, after you pass the journal entry, what we did next? After passing the journal entry, we posted in the ledger, and we saw in the last class, ledger may say we prepared trial balance. Correct? That is the way things go in practical life. Now listen very carefully. You have passed a journal entry, you have posted in the ledger. Ledger से trial balance बन गया. Even trial balance is not prepared. From the journal you posted to ledger. Now what happens? After posting into ledger, or even after passing the journal entry, if you come to know that you have made some mistake, you cannot cancel. Accounts may, once you pass a journal entry and it is gone in the ledger, then you cannot cancel it if you come to know that there was a mistake. So what you have to do? Mistake को तो rectify करना ही है. You have to correct the mistake by passing an entry in such a way that the mistake gets corrected. So that is the concept of the chapter, rectification of errors. Name of the chapter, rectification of errors. Rectification means correcting, errors means mistake. So the meaning of the chapter, rectification of errors, means whatever mistakes have been made by passing the accounting entries, now we will rectify, correct the mistakes by passing additional accounting entries. So that is the meaning of the chapter, rectification of errors, mistakes which have been committed. Now you correct the mistake by passing journal entries, which we call it as rectified journal entries. Rectified journal entry means an entry which is recorded in such a way that the mistake which you have committed gets nullified. So how to correct the mistake by passing a journal entry, that is the entire concept of this chapter, rectification of errors. Now, in this chapter, there are three parts. Second part, very few colleges do, but it is important. The reason is because if you do the second part, automatically the third part, which is the most important part, becomes much easier. So we are going to do all the three parts. I'll tell you what are the three parts. First case way, the mistakes are rectified before the trial balance is prepared. Even in the second case, mistakes are rectified before the trial balance is prepared. And in the third case, the mistakes will be prepared after trial balance will be prepared. Last 4 days we did trial balance. What I told you? Each and every trial balance should tally. There will be cases where trial balance will not tally, but data is not being kept in your FYJC ka syllabus. So what will happen when trial balance does not tally? There is a difference which goes to an account called as suspense account. So the third part of this chapter is suspense account, that we will see on the last 2 days of the chapter. But before that, we have to cover all the base. Now, as I mentioned on the group, theory and objectives I will give you all on the group in 1 or 2 days. Today, we will start with the sum. All of you all have the soft copy. I have put the word file in that. There are 5 pages. There are 15 questions. We are going to solve all these 15 questions. All 15 questions I have prepared on my own, and the questions have been made in such a way that textbook ka around all government book reliable around 40-45 questions ka varieties I have covered in this 15 sums. Okay, so I have covered each and everything of this chapter in these 15 sums. Let's start. Today being the first day, I'm just doing the first question. First question में there are 5 transactions. I've kept it very small. आज पहला दिन है, so we will not go much. We will just focus on the sum very slowly and cautiously. Again, I'm repeating what I told you on the very first day when we started FYJC. Don't try to mug up. If you mug up, you will not understand journal. If you cannot do journal, as I told you some time back also, you cannot do rectification of errors. Okay? Now see, for every sum, there will be a specific format. In this, there are 5 transactions. So first what you have to do is, you have to prepare a fair journal. They have given you of Mr. Anil. So journal of Mr. Anil, fair journal hai. There will be 5 journal entries in this. So around 3/4 of the page, pura page hi le lo because next page is going to go for working note. So first main page pe there will be journal. Now listen. Next page pe, this is the rough work. Very few professors check the rough work, but without this rough work, you cannot pass the entry. So what we have to do, when we start the sum, first we have to fill up this rough work, and rough work ka final answer is going to come in the main journal. Now how we will do this? See here, your second page, एक page में हो जाएगा, no need to take 2 pages. You will divide it in 4 parts. First part, wrong entry. Second part, reversal of wrong entry. Third part, correct entry. Fourth part, rectified entry. ठीक है? Wrong entry, reversal of wrong entry, correct entry, rectified entry. I am going very slow today. I'll make your concept very much clear. Listen to this video again and again till the time you don't follow, because otherwise आगे का समझ में नहीं आएगा. But even if you follow 90% what I'm going to do today now, forget 90%. Even if you follow 75% now, I'm sure that you will enjoy this chapter. This chapter is to be enjoyed in a very nice way because it is a very conceptual based chapter. तुम लोग सोचते रहे कि सर इसकी तारीफ बहुत कर रहे हैं. The reason is because this is one of my favorite chapters of FYJC. Okay, चलो let's start with the first sum. देखो what the question says. From the following transactions given by Mr. Anil, pass necessary rectification entries. ठीक है? Now let's take one by one. What is the first transaction? Salary paid 5,000 debited to rent account. Salary paid 5,000 debited to rent account. Now listen, what you have to do. Every transaction, first you will fill up in this rough work, and rough work में से the rectified entry, 4th column में जो entry आएगा, that will come in the fair journal. Now listen very carefully how you will approach. What is the transaction? Salary paid 5,000 debited to rent account. Now first ये देखो, what is the original transaction? What you have paid? You have paid salary, correct? You have paid salary. Now tell me, when we pay salary, what entry we pass? When we pay salary, what entry we pass? Salary is an expense. We debit salary account and we pay by cash, so we credit cash. That is the entry which we should pass. So first what you have to see, you have to see what is the transaction, and that transaction you will put it in the column of correct entry. So my correct entry should be salary account debit 5,000 to cash account 5,000. ठीक है? Write it in the correct entry का column. ये होना चाहिए. Salary account debit 5,000 to cash account 5,000. This should be the correct entry. That means ये transaction का correct entry should be salary to cash. Understand this sum very logically. If you all have liked journal, I'm sure this chapter you are going to love it. Not like, you will love it. Okay? Now listen. This is what has happened. Happened मतलब you have paid salary और ये entry you should have passed. You should have passed this entry. But हमने ये pass नहीं किया. Because if you pass a right entry, there is no question of rectifying. अगर मिस्टेक ही नहीं किया तो करेक्ट किसको करोगे? सो एवरी ट्रांजैक्शन में यू हैव मेड अ मिस्टेक and how to correct that mistake that we are going to study here. Okay, now see, salary to cash I should have passed, but मैंने क्या mistake किया है? Where you have debited? You have debited rent. Now, what is there? Salary की जगह मैंने rent debit किया, so that is the wrong entry what you have passed. So what you will do? Come to the wrong entry का column. Rent account debit 5000. Clear? Now credit क्या किया है तुमने? Cash. Have they mentioned you have made a mistake in cash account? No. That means मैंने cash correctly credit किया है. That means I have credited cash correctly. So my entry is rent account debit 5000 to cash. Getting it all of you all? I'll repeat again. I have paid salary. This is the entry which I should have passed. मैंने नहीं किया. That is the reason we are doing this chapter. What I have done? मैंने क्या किया है? Instead of debiting salary, I have debited rent. I have paid cash. Cash account I have credited correctly. Nothing is mentioned. That means cash is credited correctly. Correct? Got this? So this is a mistake what I have made. Now, what is the second column? Second column is reversal of wrong entry. What is my entry? Wrong. Rent debit to cash. इसको reverse करो. So what you will do? Reverse करना है. Rent I have debited. Now I will credit. Cash I have credited. Now I will debit cash. There's a logic for this. After completing the transaction, I'll show you. So what you do? Wrong entry को reverse करो. Cash credit है, so now cash को debit करो. And rent you have debited, so now rent को credit करो. So cash debit 5000 to rent account 5000. Getting it all of you guys? ठीक है? So cash debit to rent. Clear? Now listen very carefully. See again I am repeating. Salary to cash होना चाहिए. What we have done is rent to cash. Now we will reverse it. Now listen very carefully. यहाँ पे देखो. These two columns, reversal of wrong entry and correct entry को you all will combine. कैसे करोगे? Listen. You have to merge these two. Combine करना है. Cash debit, cash credit. When I say an account is debit and an account is credited, it gets आमने सामने set off. मतलब debit credit है minus होता है, credit debit है तो minus होता है. So what will happen? Cash ये तुम pencil से करोगे. Cash debit 5, cash credit 5. Cash goes out. मतलब cash आएगा ही नहीं, cancel हो गया. See understand the logic. क्यों cancel हुआ? You should have credited cash. तुमने कैश को करेक्ट क्रेडिट किया है, तो रेक्टिफाइड एंट्री में कैश आएगा ही नहीं, बिकॉज कैश अकाउंट यू हैव रिकॉर्डेड करेक्टली. गॉट इट? नाउ सी दोनों में क्या बचता है? व्हाट रिमेन्स? सैलरी डेबिट, रेंट क्रेडिट. दैट्स इट. सो दिस फाइनल आंसर इज माय रेक्टिफाइड एंट्री. सो माय रेक्टिफाइड एंट्री बिकम्स salary account debit 5000 to rent account 5000. Salary debit 5 to rent 5. Clear? Now see, understand the logic. What was the original transaction? क्या डेबिट करना चाहिए था? Salary. Did you debit salary? No. अभी देखो. After rectifying salary debit हो गया ना. So now salary is debited. Correct thing has happened. What mistake you did? By mistake you debited rent account. अभी देखो. Rectified entry में rent credit हो गया. So rent debit, rent credit. Rent is out. Cash आएगा ही नहीं because cash was correct. So this is the way you will rectify the mistake. Again I repeat. In accounts, after passing a journal entry, if you come to know that you have made a mistake, you cannot cancel the mistake. You have to reverse the entry by passing a rectification entry. Got this? So salary को debit करना चाहिए था, which we did not do. Now it is done. Rent was debited by mistake, so we have credited rent. So mistake rectify हो गया. Now, whatever is the answer, whatever you have written in the rectified entry, pick it up from here and post it in the fair journal. So fair journal में आएगा salary account debit, salary account debit, that is 5,000 to rent account 5,000. Salary debit 5,000 to rent 5,000. Narration will make it simple. Being rent account wrongly debited, now rectify. Being rent account wrongly debited, now rectify. बोलो, all of you are clear with this? ठीक है? I am repeating again. First, see what should have been the transaction का correct entry. Put it in the correct entry का column. Pass the entry what you have made, the mistake what you have made. तुमने जो गलत entry pass किया है, the wrong entry what you have recorded, pass it here. इसको reverse करो. Merge these two. Debit credit of the same account gets cancelled. What remains? Salary to rent. This is a mechanical way of doing it. Logical way is what? Salary debit करना चाहिए था, अभी debit हो गया. Rent was wrongly debited, so we have credited and rectified. Got it? This is the way you are going to do the first part of the chapter. Majority sums, around 9 to 10 sums are there for the first part. 4 to 5 days will go in this first part only. Okay? Chalo, same way, let's take the next one. Commission received 500 credited to interest account. Commission received 500 credited to interest. Now tell me, what is the correct transaction? What is the original transaction? You have received commission. Received, money will come in. So can I say cash will be debited? Money comes in, so cash will be debited. And what you have received? Commission, it is an income. So my correct entry will be cash account debit 500 to commission account 500. Cash debit 500 to commission account 500. Get it? Getting it now? This is what should have been done. Now what has happened? क्या किया तुमने? Credited to interest account. Now my correct entry should be cash to commission. Have they mentioned anything about cash? No. That means what? Cash को मैंने बराबर debit किया है. That means I have debited cash correctly by 500. Now what is the mistake? I should have credited commission. But तुमने क्या credit किया? Instead of commission, you have credited interest. So my entry will be cash debit 500 to interest 500. This is the wrong entry what you have passed. Okay? Now reverse it. Cash to interest. So this becomes interest debit 500 to cash 500. Cash to interest. We will reverse it. Cash को debit किया है, now credit. Interest credit है तो now debit. बोलो. Now what you will do? Merge करो. देखो क्या common है? मतलब जो cancel हो रहा है? Cash debit 500, cash credit 500. Cash debit, cash credit gets cancelled. What remains? इसको reverse नहीं करना है. Interest is debited, commission is credited. So that is my rectified entry. So my rectified entry becomes interest debit 500 to commission 500. interest debit 500 to commission 500. Got it now? Now see the logical way. I wrongly credited interest. इंटरेस्ट को बाय मिस्टेक क्रेडिट किया, रेक्टिफाई हो गया. नाउ आई डेबिटेड इंटरेस्ट. बाय मिस्टेक आई क्रेडिटेड, नाउ आई डेबिटेड. सो इंटरेस्ट अकाउंट का मिस्टेक रेक्टिफाइड. कमीशन को क्रेडिट करना चाहिए था. आई शुड हैव क्रेडिटेड कमीशन व्हिच आई डिड नॉट डू. कमीशन क्रेडिट. सो रॉन्ग निकल गया एंड राइट आ गया. गेटिंग इट? सो दिस इज द वे यू विल डू. इंटरेस्ट टू कमीशन, rectified entry. As I told you, rectified entry will come in your fair journal. Come to the fair journal, just copy paste the rectified entry. ठीक है? वहां पे you have to do it logically, and after you get the rectified entry, just copy paste. So interest debit 500 to commission 500. Interest debit 500 to commission 500. Being interest account wrongly credited, now rectified. Okay? Being interest account wrongly credited, now rectified. Clear guys? Getting it now? Chalo. Same way next. Third, machinery purchase for 10,000 debited to purchase account. Machinery purchase. Bolo, what should be my correct entry? What I told you many times. When you buy goods, that time you will put purchase account. Machinery is a fixed asset. So what should I do? I will debit machinery, real account as machinery comes in. Machinery comes in, so I will debit machinery, and nothing is given. That means you have paid money. So my correct entry should be machinery debit 10,000 to cash account 10,000. My correct entry should be machinery debit 10 to cash 10,000. This is the entry which I should have passed. Now, what we have passed? What you have done? Instead of debiting machinery, what you have debited? Purchase. So, the wrong entry, the mistake what I have done is purchase debit 10,000 and money goes out. So, to cash 10,000. Purchase debit 10,000 to cash account 10,000. This should have been done. Now what I do? I will reverse it. ठीक है? Cash को बराबर credit किया तो nothing for cash. So now reverse it. Purchase to cash. Cash credit है. So now cash will be debited and purchase will be credited. Got it? Now see, क्या cancel हो रहा है? Cash cash same thing. Cash debit 10, cash credit 10. What remains is machinery to purchase. So machinery account I should have debited. Now I will debit. Purchase was by mistake debited. Now I will credit. So my rectified entry becomes machinery debit 10,000 to purchase 10,000. आ रहा लॉजिक समझ में? मशीनरी शुड हैव बीन डेबिटेड. तुमने डेबिट नहीं किया, अभी डेबिट हो गया. परचेज वाज बाय मिस्टेक डेबिटेड, नाउ क्रेडिट हो गया. ठीक है? कम टू द फेयर जर्नल. ठीक है? मशीनरी डेबिट 10,000 to purchase account 10,000. Machinery debit 10,000 to purchase 10,000. Being purchase account wrongly debited, now rectified. Being purchase account wrongly debited, now rectified. Getting it all of y'all? Okay, sure. Next. Withdrew 5,000 for personal use, debited to commission account. Withdrawing, taking out from the business. Nothing is given back, means you have taken out cash. For what purpose? Personal purpose, personal use. So what should I debit? Personal use, that means what? I should debit drawings account. So my correct entry should be drawings debit 5,000 to cash 5,000. My correct entry should be drawings debit 5,000 to cash 5,000. This should have been my correct entry. Now, what you have done? Instead of drawings, what we have debited? Commission. So, I have wrongly debited commission. So, commission debit 5,000. No information for cash. That means cash is credited correctly 5,000. Commission to cash, usko reverse karo. So now it becomes cash debit 5,000 to commission account 5,000. Cash to commission 5,000. Cash gets cancelled. So my rectified entry becomes drawings debit 5,000 to commission account 5,000. Drawings debit 5,000 to commission 5,000. Again I'll do logically. You have by mistake debited commission, credit ho gaya. Drawings should have been debited, which you did not do. So drawings debit ho gaya. So the wrong thing is out and the right thing has come. Okay? Come to the fair journal. Drawing debit 5,000 and commission credit 5,000. Drawings debit 5 to commission. Narration being commission account wrongly debited now rectified. Being commission account wrongly debited now rectified. Got it all of you all? Clear? See now, all the 4 transactions what we did till now, everywhere cash used to get cancelled. Now next transaction, the last one, there is no cash in this. Let's see. Purchase goods of 3,000 on credit from Vikas, credited to Vishal's account. Let's see. What is the original transaction? Purchase goods of 3,000 on credit from Vikas. I purchase goods, goods are coming in. So my correct entry should be purchase account debit 3,000. Purchase from whom? Vikas. So to Vikas account 3,000. So my correct entry should be purchase debit 3,000 to Vikas 3,000. Correct? This is what should have been done, but we have not done. What we have done? Instead of crediting Vikas, what we have done? We have credited Vishal. Any information for purchase? No. That means what? Purchase is debited correctly. So what I have done is purchase account debit 3,000 to, instead of Vikas, I will credit Vishal. So purchase debit 3,000 to Vishal's account 3,000. Okay, reverse it. So it will be Vishal debit 3,000 to purchase account 3,000. Vishal debit 3000 to purchase 3000. Got it? Now see, first 4 transaction what got cancelled? Cash. यहाँ पे देखो विशाल विकास are different. Purchase debit 3, purchase credit 3. तो यहाँ पे instead of cash, purchase gets cancelled. Anything can get cancelled. Alright? So what remains? Vikas debit, Vishal debit and Vikas credit. So my rectified entry becomes Vishal's account debit 3000 to Vikas 3000. Vishal debit 3000 to Vikas's account 3000. Logic देखो, विशाल को by mistake I credited. Now विशाल debit हो गया. विकास को क्रेडिट विकास को क्रेडिट करना चाहिए था. Now विकास क्रेडिट हो गया. तो विशाल का mistake is out and Vikas has come in. So Vishal is out and Vikas has come in. Wrong entry is out and the right entry has come in. ठीक है? फेयर जर्नल में विशाल डेबिट 3000 to Vikas 3000. Whatever is written in the rectified entry column, that you will copy paste. So Vishal account debit to Vikas's account 3000. Narration being Vishal account wrongly credited, now rectified. Okay? Being Vishal's account wrongly credited, now rectified. Getting it? So this is the way you will do rectification. Prepare a fair journal. Rough work में 4 columns, wrong entry, reversal of wrong entry, correct entry, rectified entry. See transaction, what is the transaction which has happened? Uska record correct entry. Then see what wrong entry you have passed, what mistake you have done. That entry, wrong entry, you put it in the wrong entry column. Usko reverse karo and combine these two. Common things gets cancelled and what remains, that will be your rectified entry, and whatever is your rectified entry, that will come in the fair journal. I have explained you each and every transaction logically. Again I am repeating, please don't try to mug up, do it logically. Okay? Total 5.5, 15.5, 20, 28,500? 15 and 3, 28, 33,500. 3 and 5, 8, 18. 23,500 is my total. Hope today ka class is clear. Listen to the video carefully. Those who have not yet followed, do-3 baar dekho. As I told you, all have a biggest advantage. You all are seeing recorded lectures. We are not going live, so you all have a good advantage. Listen to the video carefully so that when we go tomorrow, you will be much comfortable. Tomorrow I will take the second sum. There are 10 transactions, so I will solve all those 10. We will solve that sum tomorrow. Slowly we'll go. Then after 2-3 lectures, wherever required, I will give you sums for homework. Okay guys? So today being the first day, I am just doing one sum so that we go at a slow pace. I can easily do the second sum, but I don't want to do it. Before we meet tomorrow, please practice this, see the video and revise this sum properly so that tomorrow you will find it very simple. Okay? That's it. Take care guys. See you all tomorrow.